What's going on, everyone? My name is Nicholas Merton here at Data Dash, and today is August 10th of 2020. Well, folks, I hope you all are having a fantastic day wherever you are. And in today's video, I not only want to spend some time to talk about Bitcoin breaking through $12,000, very big even level for Bitcoin, but outside of that as well, talking about the crazy rally that we're continuing to see in DeFi and enterprise blockchain. And last but not least, taking a look at some of the data science models to really gain perspective as to where we are in the market and why it's important not to get caught up in the short-term price action. We've got a lot of things to discuss right after our quick sponsor. Our sponsor for today's episode is Bitpanda Pro. Bitpanda Pro is the secure European exchange for crypto to fiat markets. Bitpanda has been offering secure, straightforward, and easy access to the cryptocurrency market in Europe for over 5 years and wants to offer the same service to more experienced traders, users using trading bots, and other advanced clients like cryptocurrency businesses and institutional investors. With the steady addition of more and more crypto to fiat trading pairs, Bitpanda Pro has made itself a convenient, secure, and trustworthy exchange to onboard or cash out easily. Check out the link down below in the description to learn more. Alrighty, everyone, so I want to go ahead and start off as usual by just taking a look across the board cryptocurrency markets. Not only has it been a phenomenal week here for Bitcoin as we've recovered back up towards the big even level of 12,000, but the vast majority of cryptocurrencies here are performing in green territory with a mass amount of plays here in double-digit territory, and the rest of the plays here either holding out a neutral territory or mainly green territory. So it's phenomenal to see here. And again, if you're focusing on the right portions of the market here between enterprise blockchain, decentralized finance, you can be very clear that you're likely in the green here. It's not always about picking the absolute best coin here or being in the top performing play. You're never always going to call all the best shots. If someone could do that, then they would be a billionaire within a couple of weeks. So keeping that in mind here, right, it's important to just focus on what's generally winning in the market. And if we take a look here from plays like Anchor, or for example down here like Cosmos, right, and then also plays like we recommended recently in our newsletter, Tezos, or some of the plays like Band Protocol or Ampleforth or Ren or Thorchain or Balancer or Compound or Kava or Terra. A lot of these are fitting into two categories, either enterprise blockchain or, as you guessed it, decentralized finance. Yes, it's a bit of a buzz term right now. There's a bit of craze going around it. Again, we've been talking about DeFi for a very long period of time. I've been building my crypto smart wallet since back in July of 2019, so over a year ago, if you can believe it. And I was passionate about DeFi before there was really much of a term for DeFi. Kyber Network back in September of 2017. Following Compound back in early 2018. A lot of these DeFi projects were kind of brewing behind the scenes, and now it's really starting to materialize and gain traction. And people are very excited at the end of the day about the kind of price performance we're seeing in some of these assets. So keeping this in mind, right, we can obviously talk a little bit about these individual protocols, but I want to focus here on Bitcoin a bit because I know that's probably what many of you are concerned about. It's the largest crypto, and it is going to lead the direction of this market in a lot of ways. So Bitcoin is back up here towards around, again, it's not exactly, you guys could say it's $36 short when I'm talking about it right now, but it basically reached here today a high, new high here in this case of $12,086. Again, not a new all-time high, but a relative high here, right, for the day. And in this case, it's going to be interesting to see here whether or not we can actually set in an actual close above 12K today. So that's something I want to look for here. But the major thing that I want to focus on here for Bitcoin is just taking a look at the weekly here. What's the relevant thing that we need to look for here in regards to price? And that is basically setting in a higher high here, right? A higher relative high compared to what we set back here on the kind of multi-week close here around 11,500. And along with that, a potential pullback here onto this very important line of both support and resistance historically for Bitcoin. So let's just go ahead and break this down. The reason I think that we could get a pullback down here probably towards around the low $11,000 range is because we have a very important line here that is played as not only resistance multiple times in the past, but also has been serving as support here. So as we saw back here, after it served as resistance, we broke up, we set multiple slightly higher lows here, kind of formulating a general line of price action. And that continued to play as resistance here for Bitcoin back in the past. Now I think that we're well above it here. We're going to continue to rally higher, and then we're going to come back down and make it support. And then after that, we're going to probably push sideways going into the next few months. I mean, again, keep in mind, this is the logarithmic chart here. So these moves here, again, are much more substantial. They require more liquidity. And in this case, I think sometime going in at the latest into Q1 of 2021, that will break above that level at 20,000. We might even get a test up here earlier, and then we're going to get a rejection, kind of do a V-shaped kind of cup and handle, and then break out above 20K going into the later part of 2021. But all in all here, guys, the major point I want to kind of present here is to not try to trade against or not so much trade a Bitcoin to Tether or try to trade it in and out of the market. For the vast majority of people here, this is not me giving financial advice. This is just understanding the actual general probability that you are going to outperform the market. It is likely that you are not going to outperform the market trying to trade. It is likely, especially if you are using margin, that you are going to accelerate that chance of losing your money. Whereas many people think it accelerates their chances of winning extra money in the market. And I want to go ahead and emphasize and kind of coin this with a chart that we visit from time to time. A data science model called the Bitcoin Profitable Days. It's very simple. It's nothing complex. It basically just takes a look at the historical performance of Bitcoin going all the way back here to the summer of 2010. More than 10 years ago. There has been 3,645 days in Bitcoin's history up to this date. And out of 3,588 of those, if you just held Bitcoin, you're either where you bought it or you're up in your money. Basically, you're in the profit, right? You're on paper, at least you're in profit. 98.4% of Bitcoin's history has benefited those who have just held the asset. This is a pure example here of why you not only shouldn't buy during peaks of fear. This is peaks of absolute excitement or greed. That's why there's still some red on the chart here. That's the 1.6% here. There might be still down in the red. And for those of you who are in that position, I can resonate with you guys. I've bought market tops before in the past. But the key thing here is that you want to buy during periods where no one's talking about an asset. And along with that as well, you want to focus on the long-term vision. Plain and simple. And there's a lot of other data science models that are showing us we're at the time where we want to start continuing to remain bullish, right? Take a look here. The 1-year HODL wave. This basically is a on-chain verifiable measure of dictating basically how much Bitcoin has not moved in the last year or more, right? And we can see here that level has gone from around 58% back here in March all the way up to 63%, a 5% leap here to new all-time highs. We have not seen this much Bitcoin not moving in a year in history, in Bitcoin's history. This is very, very important to keep in mind because it's showcasing, yes, there are possibly some people who are swapping it and trading on exchanges and just not moving on chain. But the key thing here to keep in mind is that that was the same principle back here and back here. So what we're generally seeing, what we can tell here between going from a high here at 48%, here at 61%, and now here at 63%, we're seeing throughout these cycles that more and more people are generally probably holding their Bitcoin or putting Bitcoin into funds or different types of ETFs. So that's the key thing we want to look out for here. The continuous growth here of Bitcoin sitting still. And along with this, we can see that this is starting to reflect here within the stock to flow model. Whereas last time, right, in the last cycle here, we had a relatively kind of slow catch up here later on into 2017 to the stock to flow model. This time around, we're riding exactly with the stock to flow model. Not overshooting it, not really undershooting it, just right about where we should be. Now, this is again why I do believe, as much as this has been kind of an example of the dynamics between the demand and the supply in the market, the ever-increasing demand here in the market to get exposure to Bitcoin in a macro environment where people are looking for non-correlated assets like Bitcoin, but also as well with the supply shock from the halving, the supply shock from people holding their Bitcoin at a record pace. We're starting to see that we're holding out here. I do believe, though, that we're, again, looking at the logarithmic chart and we have to consider market to scale. Usually it tends to be that the larger the market growth in this case, it's going to take longer time in order to realize that, and we can see that from the 2 previous halving events. And the reason for this is because we're going to need much more liquidity. It's going to take much more substantial market moves to get up towards the fair range of the stock to flow model. And that's why our target range is for the end of 2022, November, December of 2022, for a peak of well over 100K in this case. So around 100K to possibly up to 200K, because we've seen as well that we tend to overshoot the stock flow model, sometimes 2 to nearly 3x in this case. So anyways, want to keep that in mind here. But all in all, guys, this has been an exciting time here. And I'd love to hear from you all, what you're keeping your eye on in regards to the market here. There's a lot of crazy price action going on. There's a lot of interesting technological plays being built out. And I'd love to hear from you all what you're interested in. And again, if you guys like the video, please consider dropping a like, hitting subscribe if you haven't already, and hitting the bell icon so you don't miss any other videos. And a few other things just to mention as well. If you're interested in getting some more insights into the market, guys, we have the Dash report. Just yesterday, we made a trade within less than 24 hours. I made a trade on Ampleforth where we made over 50% within less than 24 hours. Again, this is one of the leading plays in the market here. If we take a look at the last 24 hours, Ampleforth here, I'm nearly 30%. So again, really exciting stuff, guys. And again, if you're interested in supporting the channel, the Dash report is a great way to do that. So you can find the link in the description. And also, if you guys are looking to get into DeFi, looking to get exposure to some of the enterprise or DeFi tokens, you can always check out digifox.finance, our cryptocurrency smart wallet that I've self-funded and built myself. So if you guys are interested, check that out. You can also invest in us in a WeFunder. All right, I've rambled on enough today, guys. I hope you all are having a fantastic one wherever you are, and I'll see you all in the next video. Stay tuned.